So, welcome everyone to this event. Welcome to Munich.net meetup once more. It seems that there is a problem for now. I can't seem to find out our speaker, although he should be here, but he's not responsive at all. So, what I'm suggesting we'll do is just give him like 2 more minutes, right? Nothing more, just 2 more minutes. And then once we have those 2 more minutes, yeah, I will do it. I will do the talk for this event. Let's discuss later how this will be done. So give him some time. Let's wait a couple of minutes more and we'll start. Mm. So I think that's it. We can't wait anymore. I don't know what really happened. It is unprofessional, if you ask me. I'm trying to reach him for some time now. Anyway, let's hope he's okay, and then we can solve everything else. Let's start, and I will tell you how and what we'll do today. We will see though Blazor and SignalR. So since I'm all alone now, I want to handle everything. So let me move one slide ahead. I think I can do that from here. Yes. Yeah, finally, a warning that I'm recording this video. I'm going to publish it. I know that most probably you're not going to be there because you are like attendees in Teams, but I was doing all this event with Zoom and things were a bit different then. Anyway, just for your knowledge, I am recording this and I am planning to publish it in YouTube. So yeah, reach out if you have any disagreements with that. And how? Well, this is me, right? I'm a Microsoft MVP, a cloud solutions architect, and a .NET software engineer. I actually started with .NET, and then I switched, as many of us, to cloud solutions. You can reach out with any of these handlers like Twitter and LinkedIn, GitHub, but since I found out that many people can't remember my name that easily, my surname, I created this QR code. It's this one, and I think I have it as a bigger here. Yeah, sure. So scan it. You will go to a find me page or mini me page. I don't know how you want to call it, and then you can reach out easily with any social media. So this is what we're gonna see today. The only thing that changes is the name and the photo. It will be me that I will do this presentation, and although I didn't prepare anything, I sort of know my way around Blazor and SignalR. Now, good thing is that next week I was planning. Now I will probably postpone it, but I was planning to do a presentation about how to create a Blazor component. So at least in introduction, I have it ready as a PowerPoint. There's a few slides, and what we will need to actually go through then would be hands-on code. I haven't prepared anything as you expect. but it could be quite interesting to see how we can start from zero, get new Visual Studio, new project in Visual Studio, add SignalR, add this and that, and finally try to make it work. Now, before we go there, let me start the other presentation that I have for next week, and it's this one. This is, you don't want to see that twice. This is where I work. Yeah, I didn't include that in the other side. I could done that. It's Allplan, an MNC company that offers 3D building information modeling, like BIM software, right? So you can use it to design, use it for details, use it for precaster, rebar detailers, civil and structural engineers, anything you want. So I'm not going to stay much here. Let's start. Since again I am one, give me a second. I need to also monitor what's happening with the event, right? And if there are any questions, I think you can type a question here in the meeting chat. Feel free to write anything you want, and I will do my best to read it and answer you. I will pause every once in a while, and we can do that. So. Yeah, I can also remove myself somehow here. No, that's only me. I can give me a second since. Okay, and then we can go back to what is Blazor. So Blazor is targeting people that they are trying to avoid, let's say, any JavaScript coding experience. It doesn't mean that you will avoid JavaScript at all. It doesn't mean it's not against JavaScript. It's not fighting JavaScript. It works with JavaScript, right? As we know, JavaScript is a weakly typed language. It has stuff like variable hosting that many of us find annoying or bug friendly, if I say. TypeScript at some point tried to attract some of those developers that didn't like these weird features of JavaScript, and it did. But for some others, it was React and Angular, right? Most of the developers don't write nowadays vanilla JavaScript. They just choose a framework and they write on that. Blazor, it's another attempt, but it's a bit different this time. Blazor is trying to introduce C#, and it's doing it actually, in the browser, right? So JavaScript flavors, all these flavors that we talked about, ruled the front-end world for so long that this loved and hated language by some start infiltrating the backend, right, with Node.js. Now, the time came that strongly typed languages fought back, and the ASP.NET team was the first to introduce a new approach, a new solution, which is called Blazor. Now, as I told you already, Blazor is an attempt to bring a strongly typed language like C# to the front end, and it's actually considered by many a breath of fresh air, right? For all strongly typed language lovers. So Blazor came to offer the ability to write rich web UI experiences using HTML, CSS, and C#. Yeah, there might be cases that you might need to write JavaScript, right? And there are JS interop services just for that. But in most of the case, in most of your development life with Blazor, you will see HTML, CSS, and C#. Now, next slide. What is that? Blazor flavors. Blazor comes in two flavors, WebAssembly and Blazor server side. This is happening with socket SignalR, right? So WebAssembly is an assembly that runs in your browser. On your browser, I don't know the correct thing here. So it has nothing to do with your backend server. And what's the good thing here? It totally can reduce the cost of your server because all the computational power, it's moved to your browser. Or anyone can understand that the computational power needed for some applications cannot be offered by a browser. But in some cases, for example, you can also have kind of static web apps. It can. So you can move processing power to your browser, distribute that to your users, and actually avoid any of that cost on your server. If you do have then high processing needs, of course, Blazor server is there. So a client communicates with the server. Traditional way, most of what we know already still stands here. The communication is transparent. You don't need to do anything about that. It's happening with WebSockets, and you just take advantage of whatever cloud provider you want and your browser. So now, what is a Blazor component? This is actually part of the presentation that I have next week or in a couple of weeks, but it's also useful to say now that as an introduction that Blazor applications are created using components. Everything is a component, which are they're flexible, they are lightweight, they can be nested, they can be reused, they can be shared between projects. So components are, let's say, self-contained chunks of user interface, right? Such as a page. A page is a component, or a dialogue, or a form. Now, again, this is for next week, but this is a sample of a component. You can see that there is some HTML, you have your C#, and you have also Razor component. So Blazor apps are built using Razor components, which can contain any combination of Razor, HTML, and C# and CSS, right? So now the experimental part. What we're gonna do now, what we will attempt to do now, is just do this Blazor. Let me bring that here. I hope you see my screen. Let me check again for any questions or whatever. I think you see my screen. That's cool. I don't see anything in the meeting chat. I'm moving forward. So what we wanna do? There is a minimum requirement for what I'm going to present now, and this is .NET 6 and Visual Studio 2022, right? Create new project. It's rather easy now. This is the second screen. I can see it so well, but because it's far away, I wasn't predicting for any of these things to happen. But anyway, two choices: the Blazor WebAssembly and the Blazor server app. Let's just choose one. Let's just choose the server app. Next. We don't care. We don't really care about the name, and I'm not going to try everything as is. Create. Hopefully, wait a few seconds and not more than that. And what we're going to do now, this will automatically create a Blazor app. We can run it just as a test to see what we have there. Where is my window? It opened from this side again. Let me move it. And actually, let me also, no, let me bring it here again until it opens. Because I needed to be ready. This other screen not helping me a lot. And where is it? Okay, let's come here. Let me bring that here again. Come on. Okay, so this is, and I can turn that on a bit, for example, zoom in. It selected the same again. Come on. Okay, that's enough. So when you start Blazor app, there is some code there by default. There is just there to help you out, and actually we can also run it. This is most of you have already seen this weather widget app. It's or weather app anyway. It's a sample of how you can call data from a remote resource, parse them, and show them in your UI. Now, once this thing starts, I think it will start in this screen again and not in the other one, but we'll see. You will see that it's a nice UI and a nice sample. We're gonna replace that and we're gonna write, let's say, a web chat, chatting application, a very simple one. Yeah, of course, it opened up here. Let me move again, but here it didn't. Yeah, this is what we're getting as a default tab, right? So this is a hello world. This is counter, proof that everything runs on the client. And this is also this weather forecast thingy, which pulls data from a resource. Actually, the resource now it's within the same project, but it could be anywhere. It could be any remote resource. Parses them and shows them there in this not so beautiful grid. So this is it. This is the app that we have, and we need to change that app, right? So we need to add a few things to make it, let's say, SignalR friendly and create our chat. One of the first things that we need to do is actually to install SignalR. That can be through Nugget, and I can come here. I know I can also come to the dependencies, add Nugget, and I can type once this is up. SignalR. I know this is installed, of course. If this thing works and the presentation goes well, and indeed we have something working here, I will be very happy. I need to be honest, SignalR client, and I think just because I can't see very well, is this the one? No, this is SignalR common, SignalR client, correct. Install. Step one completed. You see that it's fairly simple. It's actually not very important, not a big deal to create this app. And I honestly don't know what other things had Anvar, I think it's called Anvar, in mind. But this is the closest I can do to Blazor and SignalR. So we did that. We have SignalR installed, and the next thing that we need to do now is create a hub, right? A SignalR hub. We can use just as a habit to keep our solution clean. I create folders, but for now it's just not necessary because I don't even know if we will have the time with all the fight I anticipate. Anyway, hubs, and in there let's create our first and only hub for this application. Let's create a new class, which we can name it chat hub. I think that is also the instructions. Chat hub. We are there. Now, what I want to do, it's correct namespace, it's everything. Visual Studio and 2022 at C#10, right? Namespace is no curly brackets anymore. So we have our chat hub. First thing we need to do is, of course, inherit from hub. This is yeah, a SignalR base class that will allow us just exactly that, to add some functionality to our hub and only have our send message to worry about. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, it's fairly simple. We're going to write public. I didn't write public. That could be the difficult part, if you ask me. Maybe I can make that a bit bigger. That's so. Let's try this one. Come on, again, the same thing. I'm sorry, guys. I honestly don't know why I miss it. Am I far away or something? Public. Async. We're gonna have a task for that. Public. Async. Finally. Task. And let's call it send message, right? That's what we wanna do. Send message, and this message will take two parameters for us, or whatever. Let's say user. User and message. Do you see how smart new Visual Studio is? This sometimes most of one of the most impressive things that I found with Visual Studio 2022, it knows what I want to write. Anyway, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna go call the clients, all the clients available. We're gonna publish this message. That's what it means to all the clients available, and we're gonna send actually, yeah, this message just to see that this is not what I want exactly, but I can come back here and actually tag this. Where are the quotes in this keyboard here? Tag this with message received, or let's say receive message, right? So this is all the only code that we have to write for our hub, nothing more. And this will handle everything, and it will publish to all clients that we see here the message that it comes from this user, from its user. Now let me go back a minute to our and here. No chat, no nothing. It seems that there are some attendees, so this thing doesn't go completely wrong up until now. So we did that, right? Now what we want to do is register the hub in our program CS. And in order to do that, we're gonna go to our program CS, of course. We're gonna scroll down here. Where am I now? In the app, and what we want. Before that, we can also register some services. So yeah, let's do that first. Compression. We all know it's not necessary for me to say that network bandwidth is a limited resource, right? Reducing the size of the response actually increases massively the responsiveness of the app. It does that dramatically most of the times. And now that we're trying to create a chat box, a chat whatever, it only makes sense to increase responsiveness, right? So a very good idea is actually to compress all our response. And how we can do that? It is again fairly easy. We need to add in our services here what do I have as a mistake here? I will correct it. The add response compression. Add response compression. So I guess that needs, come on. No, I need to correct here. And I have a very nice idea. I will correct it like this, right? And now what we want to do is we can add response compression. We can compress every kind of response. But one nice idea actually is to compress only the ones that we care about. And right now, the ones that we care about are ones that have a specific type, a specific mimet type. So this is opts. Let's, no, yeah, of course. Options, right? Mimet type, yeah, I would like a little more help here, a bit more help, but yeah. On response compression. I want to write response compression, but see response caching. No, Visual Studio betrays me, but yeah, I don't even want to write that. I want to write response compression defaults. And right about when I was saying good words, now it came me. Mime types, and we can add here. We can concat this and add actually the one that we are interested in, right? And this one, I will add it. This one, which one is it right now? We are going to go experimenting here. So yeah, expect quite a few mistakes. We're hopefully we're going to correct all of them before this meeting ends. But let's see. Application, and let's bet that it's this one. And response compression defaults, it doesn't like it. Why doesn't like it? Response compression defaults. Now it likes it. Okay. Now, this means that we will have compression only where the MIME type is this one, is the application offset. Oh no, I think here is dash and not slash. Oh, we did our optimization. Let's say that it was necessarily not, it was for sure not necessary, but anyway, yeah, it's an event that we want to be happy about it. And that's it. We could, no, we can also, we should also add the mapping for the Blazor hub, and the client side, it's going to be here between the Blazor hub and between the mapping for the fallback, the client side fallback. If something that doesn't work, and this is the fallback. So what we're gonna do is add an endpoint, and for that, let me, hopefully IntelliSense help me. It's map hub, yeah, and here it's, I think, our chat hub. I think we wrote it like that. So yeah, and let's say that our chat hub will be, since I'm finding so many troubles writing today, so I wasn't expecting to write. Let's see it. It's right. And this, of course, we need here to include it. Oh, what did I do here? No, that's not right. I need that. Because it's not chat hub, it's zit hub. It will have to work. Okay. Yeah, now, but now I hope it will see it correctly. Super. Seems we are ready. We are ready for the next step, let's say, which will be to actually write our Razor component, a Razor component that will handle all this communication. Not that it will not handle. This is what it handles. It will actually allow us to play around with the communication. This will be a bit of a more difficult part, actually, because I will have to write more. That's the only reason. But anyway, let's see. First of all, let's just use the index page, the index page. Nobody else wants that, so let's just use that. What we're gonna do tonight, is it? Let's remove all these things here. Let's leave the hello world. We don't really care. The page title. Let's remove everything. What do you want to? What do we want to do first of all? We want to write some code, right? As we've seen in the Blazor components, what is a Blazor component? It's a collection of Razor, HTML, CSS maybe, and C#. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna write our code, and this code will guide us to the HTML necessary, although we more or less know what we want now, right? We had a user and a message, so we need two fields, one user, one message, and just a button to send things. And I don't know, let me check again the event here. We're still going on. We are 40 minutes already. But I've started at 10 minutes earlier, I think. So we are 30 minutes. We're good. Yeah. So before we start our code, we can also just write our HTML because we know what we're going to do, right? We need an input that would be the user, let's say, and we're going to bind it with a user in with a username or user whatever. So let's say, where is my let's bind with a field named, oops, no, did I write? I didn't write bind. Bind with a field named user, USR. I don't want to write a lot. So it's USSR, it's USR. So, and the other thing that we need, of course, we have an underline there because there is no field USR right now. Another field that we need is an input that we want to bind that with, and we need the add, of course. We want to bind that with a field named, what was that? Comment or message, MSG then. No, MSG I want. And that is it. Third thing, a button. We want to send a message. We write a username, our message, and a button that says fire the message to all of them. You remember all the clients, we're sending it to everyone. So what we want to do is bind this message, this button with an event. That event would be on click. So let's write on click here, correct, and send. And that is it. That's it with our button. So we are unlucky that Anwar is not here, but on the other hand, we are kind of lucky because I have this Blazor presentation next week and I studied a few things because I'm not working with Blazor hands-on, I mean, or SignalR, and this is kind of right now. Honestly, let's see what will work, right? I'm not going to invest much time for that because you came for an event, not for me talking. Anyway, what we want to do now, we want two fields that it's our inputs will bind to, right? One is a string, it's a nullable string. Yes, I have enables, and we named it USR, and we have an, oops, what is that symbol there? USR, and we have another string, another field, private, come on, string, also nullable, strings not nullable by default, and we name that, I think, what was it, MST. Okay. These are the two fields that we bind our inputs to. And what we're gonna need now actually is to create our hub on initialize async. It would be a nice idea if you're new to Blazor to go through the life cycle, the event life cycle of a page, because it will be one of the most useful things you have to do to actually select the correct event each time to do your stuff. Task on. I was expecting some help from Visual Studio here, but no, I have to write everything on initialized async. Async, this is async. Today. I know it was also very good, a very big day full of meetings in the company, and yeah. Anyway, now we want the hub connection, right, to make all these things happen. And actually, we want the hub connection to use it in the on click in the send event that we have in our button. So one other thing that we might want to use here is we need a private field that would be our hub connection, right? Hub connection, again, nullable. Let's name it hub connection. It's not right, I know, but I can't type that much right now. Come on, you can see that I can type. Does it see? I can't find out why. I don't think it should be able to see that. I think what we also need to do here is to add a using. You see that it's very similar. I mean, if you wrote Razor, you already know that, but if you didn't, if you don't, it's very similar, conceptually at least, with how you write a symbol CS page, right? A symbol class. You have your using, your namespace, you have everything. I didn't add namespace here. It's a default one. That's what it means, but you could have that too. So here we want Microsoft and ASP.NET Core and SignalR and client. That's for sure. And thank you, Visual Studio, for this. So now we can go in our initialize component and we can get that and actually create an instance of new, what else, right? Hub connection. Come on. Is it correct? Hub connection builder. That's totally correct. And let me, I like, although this is not a default way of seeing things, I like new lines because it's a bit more read friendly with URL. And now we want the URL that we wrote in program CS, which was, I think, slash and hub chat. Was it chat hub? Yeah, chat hub. Let me check that for sure. Yeah, CH chat hub. So done with, yeah, and of course, now that we passed the parameter, let's build it. Now we have here, now it's a new instance of a hub connection that we can use to do whatever we want. Now we want to parameterize that, and we want to say that on receiving a message, we want to alert that the state has changed. Do you know what the state has changed is? The state of a page. If you get, I mean, you saw that how I was clicking the count button. The page was actually sort of refreshing. The number was changing without actually refreshing the page. And this was happening because the state was changing. Sometimes Blazor can understand when the state is changing and do this automatically. But some other times when there are async calls, it can't know that, right? So since it can't know that, there is no way to refresh the UI. We want to refresh the UI, so we need a way to tell them, you know, yeah, something has changed. Please re-estimate all the variables that we have, all the fields that we have there, like the string USR and the string MSG, and see what's happening. And if something changed there, update your UI. So how are we going to do this? Now, there is an event in a hub connection, which is called on, just like that, because the actual event depends on the strings passed, right, on the queue, what's in there. So this is an event, and we are saying that, you know, a message will come that will contain string and string, nothing more than that. It's two strings, right? What's that suggesting? Did I do? No, that's just Studio, right? Yeah, that's just Studio. Anyway, this is, of course, something, a surprise from Studio. And we want to say here that, you know, the message will have, I think it was receive message. For some reason, I didn't write that with shorthand. Yeah, receive message. When this message comes, that it's a receive message, and is this, it is, sorry, USR and MSG. Right, but I'm sorry, I'm kind of lost right now. No, this is actually a lambda that passes these two, and this is USR. When a message comes, we are expecting a string and string from that message, from the received message, and this is one string and this is another string, right? Then, and maybe I could not, yeah, I was thinking not to use the same names because it might be confusing. This USR here is not, let's add one here and one to make some difference, not the other, it's not the fields that we have. When this thing comes, first of all, we can create a message, a new one. Let's say that the page message, I don't know how to name it, is a concatenation of these two. And let's use string interpolation for that. It could be much faster and easier. Let's say here that this user sent this message, right? This is just a way to debug it later and say that we have this kind of communication. And then this is what the important thing here. The state has changed, actually. This is the notifier that something changed. Now, the state has changed. Now, what this will do, forget this line, right? This is, we're going to continue in a minute with that. Forget this line. This just notifies that the state here, some of the variables in this page have changed and that the state of the page has changed actually. And so you need to do something to update your, talking to Blazor, you need to do something to update your page. Now let me check our chat here. Nothing more. I hope you can chat. I hope we can send messages. Yeah, so what is that? Now, in order to test it, right? Imagine you have we have one input here, one second one, and the button. You press the button. How do you know that something happened? What we can do is actually create a list, let's say, of results. Let's write first of all a title here, strong and results or messages, whatever it's messages. Let's write messages. And we need to keep all these messages again in a field that it will be affected by the state has changed. So its message can be an item in a list. So we can very well create a list here of strings again that we can name that, I don't know, messages, ms what you know what's my problem? I think what happened here? Yeah, I mean, I sort of forgot something. Oh my God, sorry for this. I was thinking, why don't I have colors or anything? But it's not that I was thinking, don't open that right now. Just finish the session. Anyway, now we have colors. That's very cool. Messages, right? We have now our collection with messages here, and actually let's initialize that. It's always better if we do. I think now Studio will be more helpful because it will understand what I want to do. Before that, you were seeing these weird things because it was thinking we are writing HTML. Now it knows we don't. Studio saved. And yeah, we're going to solve that later. It's going to be solved. We're going to see in a minute why. So, and actually, let's do it now because it is. See how colors are helpful. Yeah, what we have here now is everything, and what we can do with this variable that we concatenate everything, I could create a dictionary, but anyway, that's totally fine. We can add our methods directly to the add. How is that? age MST, right? So we have everything ready. Let's say here we're just missing this. Oh my God, how easier things are right now. We have everything ready. Things we're getting a message. We're updating our list. We need to write that message. This is going to be again fairly easy because we need a magic at, and then we can write a for each. No, this should be for each. It's not for each. Uh, yeah. And let's say var. I have so many MSG now. I don't know what else to use. Let's use M for now. I know this is all wrong. I mean, I shouldn't use variable names like that, but honestly, it's not the best time to use correct variable names. Any day, any time, anyhow, we can do that, and we can print now just our result, right? We can have it as a, I don't know, let's add a div, and in the middle of that div, let's add our message, which is this time just an M. That's it. Now, hopefully we're going to see all messages here because of this, right? Now, what else do we miss? Of course, important thing is the send. The only thing that we didn't do yet is the send. And let me also write that. Now, what that's going to be, it's, I guess, an easy thing. I assume with only one check. We're gonna check if the HC, the hub connection, is already is not null anymore, because we need to wait up until the uninitialized async runs, and then yeah, start our sending. So task send. By the way, the speaker is yet to answer. So what we do directly here is just that. I think our variable name was HC, our hub connection, and we could send here async, of course. Thank you for that. A message which is with this name, send message, and contains the two fields USR and MSG. Right now, I said before, just a minute ago, that if the hub connection is not initialized yet in this null, we shouldn't do that. So fairly easy. We can just add that. No, I'm writing capital. HC is not null, right? And it seems, what is that? It seems we are done. We are not done here. Because why don't we have an await? So we should have an await. Where do I miss that? Where do I miss that? Where do I miss? Because yeah. I mean, hello. We did everything and we didn't start the connection, right? So we need an await here, which is actually not the await that we need. It's the start sync. And that hopefully concludes our example. Let's hope. Let's try to run it. I'm waiting. I hope it will be ready soon enough. This slow thing is because, as I said, I wasn't expecting that. I don't have my proper setup here with my laptop and my screens and everything. So yeah, invalid URI. So let's move that here so you can also see that. It seems that there is an error with our URI, which is the connection, which it is in our hub connection builder, right? You can see that also with red letters here. So what that means is actually that this is wrong. And This is wrong because it wants an absolute URL. Now, one thing is to have in your app settings your absolute URL, or to, I don't know, just copy paste it from the URL that you know it's there. It's your website, right? But the other idea, another thing that you could do is to use the navigation manager. I don't know if you, it's not right. Navigation manager. I don't know if you ever use it. And this has a method to convert this to an absolute URI. To, come on, absolute URI. So I think this will make it work. If not, we'll just copy paste the URL there. Let's restart. And what now? Sorry, we need to inject, of course, a navigation manager, right? It's not something that everyone just knows. And we want to inject. See again, it's like writing solid, right? You have a DI, you have a container, and you're injecting dependencies in your container. What we want to inject now is a navigation. Help me out. Navigation manager, and yeah, we unfortunately name it the whole name navigation manager. So is this correct? It seems it's correct. And the name here is navigation manager. Just give me a second. It's navigation manager. Yeah, let's try now. My screen again. But we have something. You know what? What's the button? Yeah, the button needs to say that it's a button, right? And also I can add I don't know, a new line here, or maybe one small. Yeah, I don't like the name button. The button should be named after what it does. Let me check the event up until, okay, it's, yeah, no questions. Where is the new window? It's here again. Let me pass it here and let's see. Okay, so let's see. My name is George and I'm sending hi. Am I, what is that? Something wrong with my button which makes it not a button? Because then it's not a button, it's a button. Yeah, I hope all the errors are like these spelling errors. But I think we are very close to make that work, which is really cool. Again, wrong screen. Let's come. Where is it? Let's come here and let's write George hi. I don't hide that anyway. Please. Nothing. Nothing. You know, it's nothing because obviously this is null, but why is it null? So I guess if I comment that out, not here yet, right? But what am I doing wrong? I mean, we are just one tiny detail before everything works, and it still doesn't work right now. First of all, maybe it works already, but we had the arrow, right? We are writing that in the MSTS, so honestly, I am disappointed right now. because it just nothing happens. So let's see here. Await HC send message. Is it sent message everywhere? Because this magic string here is it receive message. It's correct. And in our hub here, it's receive message, right? So, and it's spelled correctly, receive message. And in our here, it's sent message, which is again spelled correctly. So it seems though ch is the URL. Let's also check here. ch, and this is the chatbot. So everything seems to be correct. Let's see what the error message would be. I assume it will be that I think it's that the message will be that the HC is null, I guess. Let's see. Let's move that here again so you can see, and that's so let's see what's happening. Right. So give me a second here. Let's see now. Console. Let's normalize Blazor. Okay, all seem cool. And let's now try to send at least an empty one. No error, no nothing. It's a button. It didn't bound with something. Let me check. Maybe we have an error in the button here. Where's the button? Button on yeah, not on that event. Let's try again. Let's see here now. Okay. Wait. Maybe we are. Yeah, I don't know what that thing is here. Why are we showing? I think I know, of course. I think here, yeah, we need that, right? And now I think we are very close. It's almost done. I think let's make that work. And then where is the page? It's here. Gecko is something that I use from time to time. It's George Cosmidis. So yay, it works. And if I write another message here, yes. So it is done. Perfect. It's done. I don't know what else to actually include in this sudden demo that I had to make, but it's working and it's actually 1 hour of event. So everything went according to plan. I think I'm happy. I might also add the screen. You can see that I'm sweating, but it's working right now. And this is something that makes me happy. This is an example of how versatile Blazor can be, that you can use it with SignalR and with whatever you want, and it's actually a production ready thing. There might be some things missing, like a huge community, but this is slowly picking up, and I think it's it's only a matter of time until we see more and more companies getting into the game. We're already having Telerik and other big companies writing components for Blazor. So yeah, we are just about there for a very nice thing for us strongly typed developer lovers. So I think that is it for today. I hope that you can use the chat. I don't know uh, if you have questions and I cannot answer them. To be honest, this is the second event that I'm doing with Zoom because with Teams. I was using Zoom before, and this was a bit more interactive. You didn't have attendees; you had like people attending your meeting and having the same the same possibilities as you have. So I honestly I, I hope that you enjoyed the event. I'm very sorry that Anvar wasn't here. I think I tried to do my best to cover this whole situation, although I was not prepared. We could see very cool things with Blazor and SignalR, but at least this is a common example. I think you can find it also in Microsoft somewhere in the docs. Uh, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Since it seems there are no questions, I'm about to end the event and hopefully see you in another event in the future. Yeah. So, ciao, have a nice night and see you. Bye.